Hello and welcome back to HateWatchers. We continue on today with our reviews for the second season of The Wheel of Time with episode 6, entitled Eyes Without Pity. Let's jump right in. Spoilers ahead. We begin with Egwene whining and yelping as she's dragged back home, not wanting her after-dinner walk to end. She tries to punch her owner in the uterus, but an unseen force stops her. She is learning some tricks at least, like levitate and speak. Egwene's owner lovingly pets her new bitch and takes her off the leash. Egwene is about to get her freedom when she has a super inconveniently timed seizure. At the Fist of the First Men, Lanfear tries to manipulate Rand's thoughts, but Rand is like, "You can't change my mind with all these clothes on."
Do something to earn.
Moraine wakes up Rand from this nice dream just before consummation, so he snaps at her. Prissy Pants is on edge, and she asks Wisdom, "Why are you people so loud?" And the warder pops his head in asking, "What do you mean, you people?" Wisdom breaks rule number 1 and snitches on Chipmunk Supreme. Back at the White Tower, Chipmunk is with her rich husband when Lanfear shows up so the show can badmouth men. Xerxes, reduced to just a lowly, wealthy lord now, makes the ogre sing, and the nearby plant begins to grow so it can reach the ceiling and hang itself. Back in the kennels, Egg is fantasizing about being a bad girl, but reality quickly sets in. She has another seizure and her owner wonders if she'll have to put her down. Then Egg thinks she hears a squirrel. Ishamael invades another person's bed, asking the Asian bartender to make sure Matt and Rand reconnect. The LGBT warders think Lan's a dark friend, so Lan says, "No, you're a dark friend," and the other guy is like, "That's racist." And eventually Priya squeezes the truth out of Lan, that he and Moraine found the Dragon Reborn. Lanfear shows Rand how to see anyone he wants in the dream world, so he chooses to look in on how shitty Egwene's life is, so he can feel better about himself. Egwene hears a noise and freaks out, barking at it. Then the show has the Black Aes Sedai train Wisdom and Prissy Pants how to defeat the slave caller. Moraine tries to write a letter about how she got gonorrhea from a tractor, but she struggles with it. In this matriarchal society, the men bring the women sandwiches. Lan, just like his lover Wisdom, breaks rule number 1 and snitches on Rand. Logain is eating milk duds when Rand arrives to learn from him, and Logain teaches him everything in one sentence, although there are some setbacks. Later, Rand is like, "Matt, is that you?" And Matt turns around and Rand is like, "Oh, it's not you, sorry." And the recast Matt is like, "Don't be silly, old friend, it is me." And Rand is like, "Okay, if you say so." Egg's owner says, "Egg, come." And they practice tricks.
Good.
But then Egg sets a tree on fire, so the owner kicks the dog. Bad dog. The Asian bartender tells Matt he can't leave and that she saw his future where he kills Rand with the cursed dagger. And there's emotions. Moraine drops off a letter at the gray-haired mailbox and takes time to look at a painting of herself. The Amerlin Seat herself comes into town for the Beyoncé concert. Rand waits for Matt but gives up after 10 seconds, and Matt watches like, "Hoo, epic prank, bro." But Rand doesn't get far before being confronted by Landchops and his new crew. Wisdom doesn't want to help with the slave collar because she thinks it's insensitive, but then figures out that the collar needs to be healed. When the SS come knocking, the Aes Sedai chooses to sacrifice herself, entrusting Wisdom with her last words and giving side-eye to the white bitch. The magical Mongols arrive with their dogs.
Who let the dogs out?
And the Aes Sedai and her warder are like,
It's going down.
So,
Let's get down to business.
elsewhere, Egwene can't get over her hang-ups. Right back to the real action, the warder can't kill the Aes Sedai to prevent her from being captured, and in her anger she turns one enemy into a pretzel, but eventually gets collared. Egwene finally learns how to pour water for her owner.
Good girl.
Later, she howls at the wind, and her neighbor, a former blue Aes Sedai, is like, "Great, another night of this." And the episode comes to an end. Well, we've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. It was a hate watch yet again, continuing a perfect streak of hate watches this season. But when this episode has all the same problems as the previous 5, what do you expect? Now right off the bat, this episode was brutal for Egwene. These Shan-Chan people are almost as hard on her as we've been. And while we probably didn't need as many scenes showing her plight as we got, this episode at least succeeded in getting the point across. As for Rand's story, I don't know if that's all we're going to get between he and Logain. 2 sentences of tips on how to control the source and a vomit session, but if that's it, then that's a mistake. There should have been more scenes with these two. More training, more guidance, more of Rand learning to control his power. We could have at least gotten a Rocky montage with 80s training music without the show suffering. It's not like this train can be derailed even further. Mercifully, there was a tiny bit of action at the end of the episode that was decent. But for the most part, this was a new episode, same as the old episode situation. Long, drawn out, and boring most of the way through. The show, even in these late episodes, is dedicating quite a bit of time to developing characters, which is usually a good thing, but not when it's at the expense of moving the story forward. Oh well, at least we're almost at the end of the season where something exciting has to happen, right? Right? Fingers crossed for Rand going batshit insane and killing everyone in the last 2 episodes. Does he not have the power to wipe this fanfiction slate clean and start over again, but based on the books this time? Ah, so much power at his fingertips that will never be touched. Do you feel bad for Egwene for the first time in this show after this episode? Is Rand potentially embracing the madness and fucking everyone off the only reason you're still watching? Let us know in the comments below. Also, remember to like the video if you liked it, and consider subscribing to HateWatchers in order to stay up to date on the Wheel of Time. Thank you for training this dog with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.